Hi, I'm Katie, host of Focus and Flourish podcast. I used to grind nonstop until I figured out how to automate my systems that ended up helping me achieve a 4-day work week. Now I earn more and work less. Want to do the same? Grab my free 6-figure strategy guide, which is the exact blueprint I used to grow my own business to where I am today. Link in the show notes. Are you new here? Tap subscribe to support the show and never miss an episode.
Yay, everyone's so on time. I'm really impressed. This is great. Okay. Hi, Chelsea. I'm so glad you're here. You're automatically muted, so you'll have to unmute.
Okay, I can hear. Hello.
I have the settings so that everyone's muted because life when they get on. So
Oh, I'm just trying to, my headphones were just connected and now they disconnected when Zoom came on. So I'm just trying to figure these out.
that happened to me last week. Don't worry. It's a lot of tech. Okay. I'm going to wait like a couple more minutes and then we will dive in.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly.
Okay, that's so great.
Great. Give me 1 minute. We've got Linnea. Yay. Okay. Yay. Those of the people that here that like know me well know that I'm like really bad with Zoom. It's like my biggest tech fault as a business owner. So let me just make sure like
Yes,
I'm in the waiting room and okay, hold on. It's
I totally understand.
like embarrassing. I need to like take a Zoom tutorial or something. Okay, hold on. I'll put my notifications on my phone so if anyone can't get in, they can text me. Okay. This is very exciting, everybody, because I found Chelsea in my search for finding a person that can help educate everyone here about not only like marketing, but how we can leverage your website and the platform that you guys are using for your website now to also grow your marketing in other areas. I know that we speak about the anatomy of a high converting homepage, like all of these different elements are real, sure, but I think something that's been coming up for me, can everyone hear me okay? Just to be sure. Even as someone who's been in business a long time, I feel intimidated and a bit unsure about really big tech right now. I mean, the algorithms, the Google, the AI, the generative AI on Google, like, are they going to still find our websites? Like, there's all these things that feel really awesome and a little scary at the same time. Like, what's this going to do to small business entrepreneurship? So, in my deeper thinking about life, we can only control what we can control. We can't control what Mark Zuckerberg does with our Instagram accounts. Like we really can't. They could shut it down tomorrow. So something I did not include in this online course in depth is building your email list because there's so many things that need to happen before you build an email list. You know what I mean? However, everyone here is already on their track. Everyone here is doing an amazing job. Everyone has a live website almost. And so I asked Chelsea to come in, who is a professional web designer. She is really an expert in marketing. She works with photographers and creatives. And she is a killer educator when it comes to starting and building your email list. Now, I do want to kind of make one point before she introduces herself. I mean, raise your hand if you get overwhelmed with like monthly subscriptions and like Squarespace, Flowdesk, Google. There's so many things that can add up. I actually asked ChatGPT last week. I said, these are all the things that I pay for a month. What can I get rid of? And it was just like kind of a wake-up call for me, even because I was paying for Loom and Zoom. And so what Chelsea's going to talk about today is not only like adding an email list to your marketing strategy, but she's going to break it down in like bite-sized pieces for you guys so that it's not this overwhelming thing. I know some of you already have Flowdesk. You can do whatever you want. but everyone here can also leverage Squarespace. It's in the back end of your website that you're already paying for. So if you're looking at like leveling up your marketing this year, for time, not money, this is a great thing. And again, I love Flowdesk. I use Flowdesk. But that being said, what I feel like today is going to be is you're all going to get off and be like, I have already invested in this tool, which is my website, that has so much more that I'm not using, right? So we're going to go over that and then hopefully, and we're going to talk about like Chelsea's going to break it down, how to create your freebie. What is a freebie? Like your lead magnet, what is it going to be? And I know some of you are already there, some of you aren't. I even struggle sometimes with my freebies, right? Like I'll make a quick example and then I'm going to shut up. But basically, the wedding industry is very different. When you have a freebie as a wedding photographer, brides don't want to start getting nurture emails from you every day that they know that everyone else is getting. That is more like I provide value. I'm going a step further. I'm going to shoot your wedding or your elopement. And I also have your email, right? So there's that piece. But then for most of you, like in brand photography, huge. Like the moment you get, or like someone on the fence about investing in boudoir or like personal brand, all these things are where you can nurture them through a freebie, right? Another great, all the niches I say work for it. The wedding industry is just kind of funny. I put them on my main email list, but it's the one place a bride wants to be spoken directly to, in my opinion. So I'm really excited about today. Chelsea is the owner of 23 and 9 Creative. I'm going to totally stop there and I'm going to let her take over. Chelsea, will you also just start with like your business, where you live, and just kind of how long you've been in business, and then we'll kind of dive in?
Absolutely. Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to be here. My name is Chelsea, and I run, like she said, my website design business called 23 and 9 Creative. I've been in business for about 12 years, doing Squarespace specific design. So I have been through all of the iterations of Squarespace, and we are in such an amazing place right now with the platform. And like Catherine said, I mean, the ability that we can have the email in Squarespace is huge and a game changer. Not only that, but a few years ago, I was telling all my clients to use Flowdesk because of the capabilities of Flowdesk. And I now tell my clients to 1000% start in Squarespace, and it will grow with you. Like they have made it now that you can have segments, lists, so many different tools. Like they've really built up their email marketing. So it's not just a basic email marketing tool anymore. It's a lot bigger than that. And I really, really am excited about that part. So anyway, we'll get more into that, but just like a little note. So I have seen the ins and outs of Squarespace since the beginning. I live in right outside of Washington, D.C. in Alexandria, Virginia. And I'm originally from Idaho, though, so I am a West Coast person, Pacific Northwest, and now live over here. But my business started out as branding, and I started in that space, did a lot of branding, and then people started asking for website designs. So I started to dabble in Squarespace and found even back then how user-friendly, and you guys know this, but how user-friendly Squarespace is, and that anyone can actually use it to build a website. And then in 2020, I got into creating templates. And so I started a template shop, and awesome for people because they were able to have these custom high-end looking websites without the custom high-end dollar. So I still do custom websites, but I also have a template shop. And yeah, that's a little bit about my business and me and where I've come from. So I'm super excited, like she said, to talk about today's topic because I feel like I was always so nervous to start my website list. I'm sure you guys have heard of or know who Jenna Kutcher is, and I would always listen to her podcast, and she was like, start email list, start email list, start email list. And I was like, I have nothing to say to these people. Like, I don't know why I would do that. And one thing that she always said over and over and over again is it doesn't matter if you don't have anything to say to them yet, start it now. And in a few years, when you are ready to do that, you're going to be so grateful that you did do that. And so that is a place that I'm coming from today. So even if you guys are like, I don't know what I would say to these people, start this email list now. It doesn't matter if, 5 people sign up or 10 people or one, like you have a start. You're going to be ahead of the game for when you are ready to start marketing to these people and have things that you want to share. You have a freebie, which we're going to talk about. Um, so yeah. Also, my education styles I'm going to do show and tell. So I'm going to literally pull up my screen and we're going to walk through this step by step so you can see how easy it is. And I want to have a conversation. So if you guys have questions, please let me know. Catherine, maybe you can help moderate them a bit if people put them in the chat so that I can see what people are asking. That would be awesome because I would love to answer your questions. And at the end, super happy to answer questions too. Okay, so yeah.
Can I just do one thing and then I'm going to mute myself as well. One piece I wanted to piggyback on with Chelsea is I've also binged that podcast. I have like many memories on Highway 1 driving to a shoot, like, oh my God, Jenna Kutcher. But that being said,
Yeah.
she's talking about like you'll be so happy, you'll be so happy. Even if you don't have that much to say right now, it's also going to start establishing like your vibe and your brand and your overall like
Yeah.
tone, and that can evolve with your email list. I mean, when I look at my branding in 2018 when I aggressively started my email list, I was like, but still, I've got the same tone. I'm the same Katie. So that being said, but I just wanted to touch on branding and marketing. Like it's just the best thing you do for your business. So
Yeah,
especially,
100%.
I'm going to mute myself.
100%. Yes. Okay, so we kind of already touched on this, but I just wanted to start with like, why do we even want an email list? And Katie just said, we want to capture our audience and bring them into this world. This was something you said at the beginning, but Instagram could be gone tomorrow, Facebook could be gone tomorrow. And what do you do? How do you connect with your people? How do you connect with your clients? How do you connect with, the people that have been following you? And this is something that you own, that you have, and it is a way to be able to get your message out there. Like she said, your branding is very important to be able to have like your own. It's almost like you can think about it if you want as like your own social little network. Like this is how you talk to your people. And it's not, a way. I feel like emails used to be so impersonal. I feel like even though these are automated emails and you're writing them to the masses, like how you write them can be so personal and just come from who you are. And people are going to connect with that part of you and your brand. And so that is a connection point for people, right? Like people sometimes do emails, their email lists are not even necessarily about what they do. Maybe there's like a tiny bit in there about something they're offering, but sometimes it's like, top 5 things I'm doing this month or whatever it is. It's creating this connection point when people can connect with those things about you for them to feel like they know you, feel trust, and feel like they can dive right into working with you because you're already like this established person who lives in their inbox. So that's kind of like a background on, why we want to build this email. And like I said before, I'm going to say this 20 more times. Even if you're not ready, start it now because you will be able to have a base of people to talk to and it will just keep growing and growing from there. Okay, so what is the anatomy of an email list? And I'm going to start sharing my screen here in a second, but I just want to talk through these few things. And I'm sure you guys already know this, but just so we can talk through. So your list. So your list is who you are sending these emails to. Now, it can get a little complicated because, people talk about segments and things like that, which is what I talked about with Flowdesk. You can have multiple lists. You can have, say you're a sell photography services, but you're also an educator. You can have 2 different lists for those 2 different groups of people. But sometimes some of them might be on both, and you can send both of them to both. So you can have like different tags on people also within these lists. So it can get like very minute as you go down, the more specific you want to get as you grow and learn how people are responding to you. So that is always a good thing to keep in mind too. But your list is who you are sending your emails to, who has signed up for it, and who your audience is. So we have your list, and then we have our like welcome email, which I'm going to like hit in as well in a little bit here, that we really want to have some sort of welcome email when people sign up, even if you're not distributing like a weekly or monthly email right now, we want to welcome them. And a lot of times that's going to be with a freebie, which is something we're also going to talk about. And a freebie, I'm sure you guys know, is one of those things you go on someone's website. For instance, mine is how to have a homepage that converts. So people go on my website and they're like, oh, here's this free guide. I really want this. They give me their email and I give them the free guide. Simple as that. So we're going to talk about how to do that because the tech behind that, sometimes people get confused on how that works. And it's pretty simple. So I'm going to like physically walk you through that as well as we get there.
Sorry, I can't help but have a
Yeah,
conversation.
no, keep going.
I know she's
Yes.
about to sign, share her screen. One other thing to keep in mind, everybody, that I've been talking about with SEO is, again, we're not in the Wild West, but things are changing, right? People are on your email list and you're sharing something and they're clicking back to your website. And backlinks are going to tell Google that backlinks are telling Google, like, oh, people are going to this website. Let's prioritize it. Let's rank it, you know? So that's another piece. Is sometimes I just like have my newsletters go out, then I go to my Squarespace analytics and I'm like, oh, hell yeah. Like we just had a bunch of people go to my site and that's it. I wasn't selling anything. I was just sharing
Yep.
a beautiful way, so just remember how it's all worth it is kind of what I was about to say before you go in here.
Yeah, 100%.
All right.
So I'm using an example website here that has nothing set up on it for email. So we're going to see it as if you were setting it up if you have nothing set up yet. So I wanted to make sure it was set up that way. This is one of my templates, and I'm just going to use it to go through the email part in Squarespace. So in our main menu on the left, under marketing, I do have to say Squarespace moves things around a lot. So if someday it's not under marketing, it might be under a different tab, but right now this lives. So under marketing, we have a few things here, which we're going to go through, but we have email campaigns, automations, which is what I talk about. And then they also have marketing tools, which I'm going to talk about how we can use that also with the emails. And then discounts, which is for, if you're selling a discount on your website, if you were selling a actual product or something. So one point of this is in Squarespace and you do get free up to, it's not very much, a few emails. And then you do have to pay for a plan within Squarespace, but it ranges from like $5 to $20 a month. So, and it's very low comparatively to other platforms. And it's so nice having it built in, and you're going to see why. But okay, so we come here to our email campaigns, and I'm just going to show you guys around. So you can select an email template to start creating an email. You can create a mail list, which is where we're going to start. And then you can also import. So if you have been using a different, like if you've been using MailChimp or Flowdesk or some other thing and you want to import all of those people, you can do that right here. You can just download the CSV file and upload it here. So first thing is I'm going to show you this mailing list. So we can go into create a mailing list, super simple. So it is going to load. Is this loading very slowly? Okay. Mailing lists. Here we go. So literally you can just create a mailing list. So we're just going to call this, let's call it test here. So we now have this mailing list called test. So then you can do it you can add subscribers here or on the other page, and then you can also start to create a campaign here. You can test out, 10, 20, like you can put people through a whole funnel using this if you wanted to do that. And then another thing, you can also rename things. And then once you get people in here, you are going to see all of their information, right? And one important thing to note is all of the laws around the accepting marketing or not is having, if they check out from you or if they sign up through a form, which I'll show you, they have to click the button that says that they accept marketing in order to show up in here. So that's just one of those laws that happened several years ago now, but they have to actually click that they accept it in order to be on your list. And Squarespace does that automatically. You don't have to worry about it, but just so you know what that means. Okay, so now we are in our listen segments and we can go to create a campaign. So Squarespace, just like their website templates, has a ton of templates that you can base your first newsletter off of. Okay. So, I mean, there's so many in here, and these are like pre-designed ones that you can use. You can just update with your colors and your fonts, and they have them segmented up here. So, let's go to welcome because I really want to talk about that. So, your welcome email is obviously you've gotten these before, but it's when you sign up for someone's email list and then they send you an email saying, "Thanks so much for being here." And I took a course one time on email marketing a long time ago, and I loved one of the things that they taught. And it was that you should always like introduce what it is that you're going to be giving them and be like very straightforward about it. So if you're not giving them anything right now, just be like, "Hey, thanks so much for joining me. Like still working on things over here, but I can't wait to show you everything that we have in the future." Like something short and sweet. And then also, and I do think that this is effective, and I've seen it before, and it's made me not do it. Put putting a thing at the bottom that basically says like, if you don't want to be here anymore, that's okay. We can still be friends, and having an unsubscribe button. And that, for some reason, gives people this like trust in you that you're being very open and honest and not like sucking them into something that they don't want to be inside. And I have had that on my email list now since I took this course and probably for the past 5 years. And ever since I added that, I don't know if it's that or not, but ever since I added that, my unsubscribes went down. And I think it's just giving trust in you and like being this course I took was just so based on being an open and honest as possible in these emails and being a real person and not making it sound like a robot, basically. And especially in today's world with ChatGPT and like, you can kind of suss out when something is authentic or not. Like showing up, being authentic, is like the number one thing to remember when you're crafting your emails. So that's just a tidbit that I learned that I think is really cool. But anyway, so in your welcome email, let's go ahead and I'm just going to pick
I
one of these. We'll just pick this.
done one photography specific thing, Chelsea. Sorry, I
Yeah,
you don't feel like I'm interrupting you. So you guys, we're very much on the same page where I'm like, channel any anxiety you guys have to action. Like there's no reason not to do this. And you might have imposter syndrome come up with like, what are you talking about? Like blah, blah, blah. What I have found in the realm of in the photography industry is we can frame freebies as support and that potential client automatically sees you as bringing value to their life. So if you have a studio and you're a portrait photographer, if you blah, 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 your freebie could be as simple as on your website. Like one of mine says, do you need wedding planning support? Question mark. Anyone on my wedding site is going to need support. Is that true? Right? Anybody. So they're going to click on it. They're going to get our preferred vendor list in the San Francisco Bay Area. And then I don't really bug them for a while. But for other things, sorry, Chelsea, all of you. So say you have
yeah,
a studio or you do branding or you do product, there's 1 million things. All you can say is like my top 10, here are 10 ways to prepare for your next photo session, even if you're not ready for it yet. You can like frame it in such a gentle, inviting way where people are like, wow, like he's not being salesy. This feels really good. Boom.
exactly. Yeah.
Email list. You welcome them, super gentle. And then you have an automated email that goes out like 3 to 4 weeks later. And they're like, oh, it's them again. So just think like this is all about supporting them and making them feel
Hmm.
basically like curious and not overwhelmed. So go ahead. Again, with photography, it's almost easy. 20 things to prepare for your headshot session in studio. It's like, don't
Yeah.
put a lot of salt but the night before, blah, blah, blah. And they're going to be like, oh, I shouldn't have my nightly wine before my photo shoot because I'll look puffy. Anyways, I'm going to let you keep going. But
Yes, and I'm gonna get into some of that too when I talk about the freebies, but it's most of the time your freebie is gonna come from content you've already created or something that you know that's like the back of your hand. Like things that you tell your clients all the time that they find helpful and you know that people react to. It's just putting it down on a piece of paper. Like it shouldn't be something that you have to spend hours and hours crafting and creating. It's not like a course. It's something that you already do for people that you know is helpful and you can give them that help. And it creates this trusting environment, authentic. It brings your brand and voice into it. We'll talk about this more in a second. But anyway, yes, 100%. Okay, this part is more a little techie. So just want to show you this. So we're going to come here and go to use this template. And then it is going to load just like the example that we saw. So this is one of the things that's so cool about this is it has using it in Squarespace is it has this quickly match your site button. So we can click on this. And these are all of my color themes that are in my website. So we can just choose one of them and then it's automatically going to like update the colors, the link colors, all of that already for you. So you can, use whichever one you want. It's pretty cool. You can add a logo. You can add in your logo and then you can change everything about this. You can change and it's going to automatically show your color palette already that you created in Squarespace, which is so nice. So we can edit the fonts. The fonts are like more limited than like you have to pick one of their packs. But honestly, for reading in mobile and stuff and making it easy to read, like they've created some like there's reasons that they have put these font packs together. And they're curated for reading specifically on like mobile devices and stuff so that people can, see it and even though it might not be your headline font on your website, we are going to base it off of our colors and our branding and other things so that the actual reading and stuff can be done easier. So you can pick whichever one of these matches best. And then this is basically structured just like Squarespace. So if you want to change anything, first of all, of course, you can change your text in here. You have, H1, H2, H3 in a paragraph. You can add in different sections. So you can add in images, spacers. You can add in your blog posts. You can put a blog reel in here and it'll show whatever the last 2, 3, 4, whatever you choose, amount of blog posts. You can choose which ones you want to add in here, which is awesome. You can add in buttons. Another big thing with emails, you want to have, like Katie was saying, your call to actions, so that people are clicking back to your website and you want to send them places. So even if this is just a welcome email, you can say, have a button that go like, want to learn a little more about me? Here's my story, whatever it is, and click back to your about page so people can, again, the trust, the authenticity, go back to you. Another fun thing to do in a welcome email is, five fun facts about me. It's really just about being personal and hitting home your voice, your tone, your branding in this email. So little things like that that can make it personal about you are great little pieces to add into a welcome email. Then if you do sell any products, if you have any physical products, you can also add products in here and you can add in, it has like a little thing, you can obviously change this, but you can add in like a little discount code if that is something else that you could have as a freebie. Sign up for 5%, 10% off your first session, whatever it might be, you can add that in here as well. So then, with these blocks, you can move them up and down if there's ones there already that you want to change it's just like editing in Squarespace, which is really nice because you already know it if you built your website in Squarespace. So that is kind of the tech behind that. And then that's under your style, under your email. This is where you're going to put in your subject line. If you want to put in a little preview that people see right under the subject line. And then you're going to choose who you are sending this to. So you're going to see a lot of options here. So under our mailing list, you're going to see that you'll be able to choose those people. But then it's also going to show you people who have signed up from other parts of your website. This is mainly if you have products. It's crafting these smart lists that it calls. Also segments. So like I talked about, if you want to segment your list into the, photographers and like business owners, or if, you have like personal photography versus branding photography versus wedding photography, you can like segment your list into those specific people. And then you could set up separate welcome emails for each of those three. And you could copy your welcome email 3 different ways and just like insert the word like so excited that you want to learn more about our wedding details, like whatever it may be, and just have all of these welcome emails going out to people whenever they sign up, whichever segment they're in. Digital products, like I said, all of that. So once you fill this out, then this is the important part right here. You can schedule it. So this is not letting me because I'm not paying for this, but you can create, you do have to pay for it to have your, I think it's like I said, I think it starts at like $5, but you have to pay for it to have your automation send. So under schedule, it will have, like send when someone new signs up for this list, and you'll be able to choose that. And then it will go out automatically. You don't have to do anything when someone signs up for it. So let's go ahead and talk just quickly about the freebie thing since we're already in here. Because a lot of people get confused about how do I, like, yes, they're going to sign up and get this freebie, but how does it get sent to them? So when you're creating your freebie, which, we talked about, but it can be something as simple as, five five poses for, senior photos or whatever it may be for those exact people that you are trying to connect with. And you can have different ones because of the different lists if you want to. Like on mine, I have two different lists. I have like an educators one and then a people looking for a website one. So they're two different ones that go to two different lists. And you create that in Canva or whatever you choose. I would 100% advise Canva is going to be the easiest to just hop in and create a PDF there. It should have your branding in it because we want them to recognize who you are and to remember seeing that. So it should look like your website, your branding, your colors, your logo, have some of your work in it, of course. If you're, showing photography, whatever it is, have some photos in it. Make it easy to digest. You don't want to overdo it, but you want it to be valuable. You want to show that you're giving them value with this freebie. So you're going to create it in Canva and then download it as a PDF. Or another thing I've seen that's cool with freebies is creating like a movie, like creating a little, talking, or if you're showing something, or like doing a little lesson, that's also a really cool way to do it. And then you can share that link in your email. But all you're going to do is download your PDF, whatever it may be. And then in a button, you are going to be able to, over here, when you add a button over here, it's going to have you add a link and you can upload so you can add in, oh, I'm sorry, let me back up. You can add in a website address, you can add in an email or phone number. So you can add in a page from your website. So there's two things that you can do here. One is that you can add like a secret page on your website that has that freebie on it. And then you will be able to send them to that page and they can get it from there. Or you can upload it into Squarespace as a like a link, which I'm going to show you really quick here. And then you can copy that link and put it in here so that they would just automatically get the download. So let me just show you this for instance. Okay, you can do this on any button in your Squarespace website. So I'm going to come here. I'm going to edit this and I want this to be a file. So I'm going to upload a file on my desktop. Let's see, I have one of my freebies right here. So I'm going to upload this file. This is a good trick to know. I feel like this part of the tech of the back end get lost sometimes. Okay, so now we have that. I'm just going to test it to get the link because even if I change this, it's going to stay up. Like even if I change that button, the link is going to stay updated in my website. So it opens in a different tab. I get the link. Oh no, it's fine. And then I'm going to go back to my campaign. I think I didn't like save that. So I probably lost it. Okay, well, we'll just go to a new one here so I can show you this. Make sure you save your template. That should always be the number one rule. Okay. Okay, so let's just add in a button here. And then the link is going to be that link from my website. So this is now when people press this button, it is going to open straight up to a new tab that has the PDF in it. So that's how you upload a file in Squarespace, get the link, and then put it into your welcome email to download as your freebie. Then you can just say download now, and people will be able to open that as a PDF. Or
Uh,
if it's a link to a video or something like that too.
I'm going to chime in really quick. I'm so glad you're going over.
Mhm.
I've been testing this a lot because I don't want to teach something that I'm also not actively like seeing happen. And so with my coaching email list, that's got thousands of people on it that have never joined Momentum Method, right? And when I created the off-season power playbook, which is like a step-by-step guide of what photographers should be working on over the course of the winter, you guys have it all in the program, but instead of doing it that way, what Chelsea just did as like the download, I made a private a private, I just put
Yeah.
it in the chat, but I made a private thing. And the reason is I just kind of wanted to see how many people were going back to my website. And then I'm going, holy crap, excuse my language, but like I was like, this is awesome because then you can see how long people, the bounce rate. And so I do recommend if you're looking to ramp up and you are in Squarespace, I do recommend trying both and just testing it out for your own personal education. I totally do it both.
Mhm.
I do it both ways. But when I'm giving a piece of a juicy, juicy freebie, like one that it could be sold, I put it as a private page on my site so I get them on my website. And maybe they're
Yeah.
exploring my other pages and my portfolio, and maybe they go to my other site. And then Chelsea, I
Yeah.
want to ask you really quick. So Chelsea's like Squarespace only. This is not the exact background. I'm a total Squarespace everything, but this is also, does Show It have the ability to do this or no? Can you have an email list and show it?
That's a great question. I'm
You're
so
Squarespace
out of the
gal.
loop of the other ones that I
Okay.
don't know.
I just was seeing, keep going. I don't want to interrupt anymore.
Yeah.
I was just seeing there. I think there's two people with a Show It site, so I just wanted to ask.
Okay. Yeah, it's a great question. And this is, I will say that it's like the back end of this is pretty similar to Flowdesk. How Flowdesk works, like with the blocks and stuff. So like the editing and everything, and like how you create the email name, all that stuff is pretty similar to Flowdesk. So this can kind of be used across the board if you use something like Flowdesk. Really quick, if you don't know how to do this, I'll just show you what she's talking about with the private page. So you would come to your not linked pages and just add a blank page. And you can name this as, freebie. And then we would, you could add a little intro, like a photo, text, and then your button and then upload your file for them to download here. So let me just add something on here so that I'll just add a section. I'll just add a blank section here so it stays. And then you will just have this living under your not linked, so it won't be in your main navigation. And then you can change this URL slug if you want to be whatever the name of the freebie is. And then you would just give people the link to this page in the email. And that's how they would get to that page.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty straightforward, but sometimes people get confused with the not linked pages and having the secret pages. And then you would be able to, like she said, track and see how many people were going to that page within your Squarespace analytics. So that would be very cool. Okay, now the last big thing that I want to talk about is how and where to add your email list on your website. And like the different places that we can add that in for people to connect with you. So one is a pop-up. So if you want to have a pop-up on your website, when people come, people are either very for or very against pop-ups. It goes both ways. In Squarespace specifically, when you have a pop-up, you can control when it shows up. So like if they scroll 25% of the way down a page, it can then pop up for them. So it's not right away. Different ways that can work. It really just depends what you want to do there. But that is one place that you can have your pop-up and you can create it so that it shows, a little image of your freebie. Maybe you can make a little image just from like the front page and be like, sign up for whatever the name of the freebie is and have it there. And then they would get into that automated email segment. You can also, the number one place that I would definitely put it is in your footer. And then also, so within Squarespace, if you're using Squarespace, I will show you how easy it is to add. So if we're going to we're going to add a new section here. We're just going to add a blank section. And then you will just be able to add the newsletter block. And one huge note here is that you always want to get their names. And that is a thing in here that you have to turn on, require the name field. You always want to get their names because you want to be able to say, hey, fill in the name here, Chelsea. In your emails, again, that adds in making it feel more authentic and personal when you're talking to your list. Um, so so you want to be able to do that. And then when you set this up in Squarespace, you go to storage and then you can find your email list. So we created that test one here. So you just choose that. You can choose to have the reCAPTCHA done or the send the confirmation email as well. And then you can edit your confirmation email if you want to have that go out to people. But that is how you do that. If you're using Flowdesk, you're going to use an embed code. So instead of adding in the newsletter block from Squarespace, you would add in an embed code block right here. And Flowdesk, it's really easy. They give you the little code to add, and you would put that in this block instead, and then it would appear here. You design the whole thing in Flowdesk, and then it'll appear in your website.
Yep. And guys,
Go
I
ahead.
know that this really quick, Chelsea, I know some of this can feel confusing. So I just want all of you to know that
Yeah,
I use Squarespace and Flowdesk together. So if you need individual support with that, I'm here for you. I've also used all of Squarespace's campaigns. I'm mostly going to recommend using Squarespace because it's all in one, and it's way cheaper. Flowdesk has gotten kind of expensive if you're not a founder.
it is. I just got
Yeah,
I
I joined right when they
got my
opened and they
renewal.
were in, yeah, luckily I have the beta rate,
Me
but yeah,
too.
so just make a note if you need extra support on like embedding, I can help you guys with that. But you won't have to do it if you
Yeah.
use Squarespace one. Kind of,
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And that is, I know it's a little scary, but they do make it pretty step by step for you. But again, with Squarespace, it's just like built in right there for you. Okay, so we have in our footer as a pop-up. The other thing now in Squarespace, again, if you have it set up in Squarespace, is that you can, I'm gonna go to the form. So any form that you have on your website, like if they're filling out a contact form, you can choose for them to be, you can add a little button for them to be added to your list, which
mhm.
is pretty cool. So, and that's kind of a newer feature. And that is one of, now this is like very new, so I'm trying to remember where email sign up. Here it is. So in your form block, under email, like if you have them add in your email, you can choose this email sign up, and there's a little checkbox there now for sign up for news and updates, which is very cool. That's a new feature. And this is only if you're using Squarespace email campaigns. Like there's no way to connect that to Flowdesk or MailChimp or something. So that is if you're using the internal email campaigns. So that is basically all of the tech behind adding it in, creating them within Squarespace, of course, and then looking at our freebie, what we can give them. I'm just checking my list to make sure I got everything done. And I think that at the end of the day, these emails, again, like I said, I cannot express enough. It's just there's two main things. You're like adding value to their lives so that they trust you. And then you are setting a tone for who you are as a brand and as a person that they can come back to and know that you have a trusting relationship with. So, whenever you're writing an email, just remember those tips and how you phrase things. I am one, all of my branding is very much like how I talk. That's just the tone of my business. So, I write my emails like I talk to my friends. And I always get, great feedback on that, but that's my vibe as my business. So whatever your vibe is as your business, however you talk on your website, just keep that consistent across these platforms and people will keep coming back to you.
You're amazing. That was so thorough. Um, I think that like part of it is some people are still working on their website, so some of this can feel really overwhelming. I
Yeah.
decided I want to really incentivize people to come to these calls because they're so powerful. Like they're really important. So today in the chat, if you click on that, I created a 60-page lead magnet freebie template in Canva for you guys to grab right now. It's 60 pages, meaning it can be anything. It can be a guide, it can be a list, it can be anything, but it's got the framework
Amazing.
that you need to have. And the reason is I created freebies for 4 years the wrong way. So let me do the, and what I mean by that was I just gave them the thing, like the portfolio checklist guide, the whatever. I didn't have an About Katie page. I didn't have call to actions to go back to my site. I just was teaching myself, right? All of I was doing them wrong. So now you have this beautiful, Ken inspired me to do this. You have this beautiful template, 60 pages, meaning in Canva, you save it in there as like, Sharanda Thompson, whatever, and then you can duplicate them over and over again, add your brand colors, and you can start deleting pages and just keep that base one. That's how I started building my Canva template library. I hope you guys find that helpful. I want people to feel like they have a fast track. Like life's busy. I get it. Building your own freebie can take a lot of time if we're all artists. Like we care about what things look like and feel like, you know? So that's in the chat. And I will grant access after the call to everybody. So just request it. I'll grant all of you who are on the call access to it after and make sure to click on it. Let's dive into Q&A. I feel like we have, 10 minutes with Chelsea. I even have questions, but please like unmute yourself and dive in because not only is she an email list, she's an expert web designer. So dive in.
I have a question if I can pop in right away.
Totally.
Hi, Chelsea. Thank you for your
Hi.
time today.
Yeah.
I noticed on the template that your navigation had only like 4 tabs, whereas you had a couple that were not linked, including your contact page on that template. And from a marketing perspective, is there a reason to maybe not have your contact page linked? Like, are there certain pages that you wouldn't link for a certain reason to send people in certain ways? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great question. So the reason that the contact page isn't linked is because I have it, I'm pulling it right back up right now so I can show you, is because I have it as a button in the navigation instead of having it as like another tab. And I'm going to share my screen really quickly here. I'm just going to share my whole screen so you can see. Okay, let's go back to my website pages. So if you see over here, it says work with me up here. So I have this as a button. And in order to have a button in the navigation in Squarespace, you have to have it under the not linked so that, or it could be in the main navigation, but I just didn't want to like double up. I have always preached that having you have to pretend like people are not as smart as maybe they are when it comes to your website, and having the least amount of options that are still digestible for people and get people where you want them to go is the best way to do your navigation. When people have, like 10 drop downs and like 8 pages in their navigation, it's really overwhelming. So I would suggest, only having pages up there in the navigation that get people to go exactly where you're wanting them to go and make that really easy and step by step for them. And not overwhelming at first. So for instance, if you have, let's say you do weddings, if you click on weddings, you could have more pages that people can click into there, but maybe it's package 1, package 2, package 3, and maybe you have enough information that you want them to go to different pages for each of those. You can have those linked in with buttons within that page, but just like clicking on weddings is like way easier than having a drop down and then people getting confused and not knowing where to go and they're like, forget it. So you just have to make it as like simplified as possible in the navigation, and that will like lead people to exactly where you wanting them to go and what they want to see.
Really good question.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
I do want to say one thing, Chelsea. We talk a lot about like cyclical systems, right? So it's like, okay, you've got your website. How is this? Whatever. So for those of you, this aligns for any kind of photographer. So call to actions can feel, we've got the freebie. We all get what a freebie is. We get what your email list is, but there's also the call to actions of just urging these visitors to take their next step with you, right? And like I will just tell you guys what I'm going to teach you over and over and over again. is we want to get them into your CRM system so that you can nurture the lead there. We want to take it offline. Do you get what I mean? So someone can I watch people sign up for my freebies and never opt into my like contact me. And I'm going, okay, which is fine, right? Like, but our goal too with certain types of photography is like reeling them in to get in touch as well. And so I'm just a huge CTA person, call to actions everywhere. People are like scrolling, they're half on Instagram, they're half on your website, they're all over the place. So the more options you give them to get in touch with you, the more likely they will. And one other thing I'm sure Chelsea, you'll like ease. We just want to make it easy for them to get in touch. So buttons, that bright pop of color, whatever your brand colors are, and like whatever your brand tone is, I'm pretty friendly on my sites. Like, let's connect, get in touch, like exclamation points. That's me. Chelsea is too. But that being said, I just want to remind you guys like these are big things that you can just, instead of going and spending an hour on a reel, go into Squarespace, start like, put some love into your
100%.
homepage today. Like, yeah, I can't stress.
Another thing, just general, kind of like in the vein that you're talking about, people really, I see a lot of times that people overthink the content on your website, like the actual text. You don't need to write a novel. Like we don't need to have paragraphs, like 3, 4, 5 paragraphs about who you are. We want it to be simple. We want it to be streamlined. We want it to say what you mean. And people are like in today's world, especially like people are writing bite-sized things. People think that you have to like write this beautiful paragraph. Yes, it should be great and it should explain exactly what you do, but it does not need to be long. It doesn't need to be overwritten. It doesn't need to be explained in 5 ways. It just needs to say like exactly what it is that you need to convey in that short amount of space. So don't overwrite your content either. That's another overall website tip.
I went to your website before the call and I just like explored all of your templates, Chelsea. So it seems like you kind of design your sites to support the person and already getting there. Like it seems like
Yeah.
there's a lot of H1 and good, strong SEO like places, but for people that don't have a site on the call or they know they want to go to Squarespace, what kind of support do you offer if like if I bought one of your templates right now and said, I'm starting another business, call me crazy. What kind of support do you give people? Is it more like buy the template and they can add things on? Do you help install it on the back end? What does that look
Yeah.
like?
So when you purchase one of my templates, it gets delivered to you. If you already have a Squarespace account or a website, we can add it into your current website, or we'll just send it to you as a brand new website. So that's the two methods of delivery, and you choose when you check out. And then I do have a secondary service that's called the template remix. So if you want me to take the template and you don't have time to do it or just don't want to, put in all of your branding, content, photos, everything. This service is where I will do that for you. So we choose a template together, and it's like I call it a semi-custom option because it does become your website. Like it looks like you, it has your brand, your colors, but it's based on one of my templates.
Awesome. And knowing
Yeah,
Squarespace, like it can quickly become unique with a few tools,
totally.
right? So do
Yeah.
you offer any kind of support? Sorry, I just want everyone to have what they need because I'm also going to share like
Yeah.
play and everything and a mini lesson. If someone I like to like give scenarios. If someone was on the East Coast and they already have a Squarespace website and they're feeling a little bit like, okay, I'm doing all the things. Do you also offer like little coaching calls? Do you offer 30-minute?
Yes,
Tell me about that.
I do. Yes, so I offer a few different things. I offer like a 1 hour call where it's just you and me, and you send me your website beforehand so I can go through it. And then it is just an hour talking through anything you want. I will edit your website while we talk. I will do things, or on the other end, I will teach you. A lot of people use it for teaching, so they want to know how to do something and they just don't know. And so we will do a really thorough walkthrough of Squarespace, and I'll answer any specific questions that you have. So that hour can be used for any type of help. Or also people are be like, I need these things done, and they just send them to me and they just want me to work on it for that hour and they don't even want to do the video, which is fine. It's just an hourly either call, chat, work, whatever it is that you want to do with me.
That's amazing. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I will share that with the crew. Even like I've gotten really good at Squarespace. I rebranded in 2014, but I'm still not a web designer. I'm a photographer. So nice to know those resources are out there. How much is that? Like how much is an hour?
Yeah. It's 175.
Awesome. You guys, that's such a good resource. If you need, that is very affordable too. If you guys just need
Yeah.
an amazing power session beyond me, like beyond what I can help you with, because I've hired help too, and amazing. Chelsea, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
anyone have any other questions? Oh, you're muted.
Yes, I do. So I guess it was two things. Would it be good to use like Instagram to make it go like the name go into your CRM like offering the freebie? Like they say the name freebie and they have to fill out the form and it automatically sends it to them and when they do that, because if you have it linked to your CRM, it automatically goes into your CRM, like their name. So is that beneficial and something that should be done?
Like having, sorry, I just want to make sure I understand. Like in Instagram, having like in your link and bio, like having a link there in your Instagram account.
Well, like I might make a post and say, do you want this freebie? Comment the word freebie. And then when they do that,
Oh,
it automatically like will go into my CRM. So I think that was a good thing.
I would have it. So what I would do in that case is kind of what Katie was talking about earlier is I'd create a private page that it can send them to on your website that just has like your form to fill out, like to in your website, like on a website page, and then it'll just send them to that page. They can fill it out and then they'll get the freebie.
Sure. And
Yeah.
With mine, when I say like when I hit like say I'm like they DM me for the word freebie, it
Yeah.
automatically
Yeah.
puts their information into my CRM.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a great way too. As long as it's collecting, like I said, it's just important to have their name, I think, for future usage. So, I mean, yeah, that's great if you have it set up that way. I think, Katie, what do you?
I 100%. I'm hearing so if someone DMs me, for example, playbook right now on my Instagram, it's my flow desk form. It goes, "Hey guys, how are you? Like welcome, blah blah blah." Flow desk form. They opt in, that goes into my flow desk, which then triggers the welcome email and then after they fill out their names, it automatically pops them on their site so I get to click on my site. So like as long as you're capturing the information in one place that's organized and not going to like cause you grief later, like you want to just figure out what you're going to do right now, you guys, and do it for a year. Like if you're switching between too much tech, I fear, like I recommend doing the free mini chat. It's very expensive. Like the free mini chat means they have to DM you. The paid mini chat, like they can comment. Do you get what I'm saying? Like I would say test things out because I'm in tech overload even. And I think like what Chelsea was just saying is how can we simplify this where we're bringing them in and keeping them on your website? So if you can go super Squarespace heavy, I would.
I have another question with the emails. Like I don't use Squarespace. I'm using WordPress, but I don't have everything together yet. Someone's building that for me. So hopefully it works out good. But I have a CRM that's kind of like a white label of Go High Level. So I have like everything that's included with the email. So I don't pay anything extra to send emails or have emails sent to
Okay.
me or anything like that.
Okay.
So my question is with the email, like I think there's something about a domain email or something like that that you have to hook up, and I don't really understand that. Do you know anything
Well,
about that?
do you know if I think it's probably coming from, so that it comes from your
Yeah.
so your domain email is like hello at, whatever your website is like that. So it's probably wanting to connect to those to make sure that the email that you're sending out from your website is coming from that email. So people see that in their inbox and they know it's from you and not like a random email that maybe WordPress or whatever the company is like creates. Like, how sometimes you get those automated emails and it's like a made up email. So that it's actually coming from your domain email.
Okay.
And another important thing about that, if you're using something other than Squarespace, even in Flowdesk, you have to like verify your email. And that's a big thing to keep your email, seen in people's inboxes and showing like when it comes from an at website.com email, it gives it more value in the email marketing world. So you do want to make sure that that is connected if that's what it's talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
We're
Yeah, totally.
yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Chelsea, for joining us. I appreciate all your information.
Totally. Yeah.
I just had I know every industry is different, but is there like a sweet spot with how many like emails to like newsletters or whatever to send out a year? Because I think where I get nervous is like, am I gonna lose like get more unsubscribers because it's too much information? Because I know for myself, like sometimes I'm like, I don't need to hear from them weekly or
Yep.
monthly, but I didn't know if there's like a sweet spot or working with
Yeah.
photographers.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I would say that this rule kind of transcends different markets. Um, and I do, everyone does this differently, but personally, I do like what I want to get because, like you said, we get so many, right? Like we are inundated with emails all the time. And my funnels are not very long because I hate those. Like, I don't want to get 50 emails from you before I buy something. Like, I want them to be, again, super concise, super sweet. I want to understand what it is, right? And I don't want to go down this like huge rabbit hole. Um, so I try to send my email monthly, and I just have it set up on that track. And I think that's a good in between. If you think about it, it's 12 a year. You can also like sit and pre-write these months in advance and then just, pop relevant things into them, which is so nice. Another thing that you can do in Squarespace is just create like templates for yourself. And so you don't have to schedule them right away. You can have them waiting, or you can schedule them out months in advance. You can write them now for summer. When you have your off season, you can be working on that stuff. But I prefer monthly, and I have gotten good feedback from that. But again, what Katie was saying is you can always like try it out, like do monthly, and then in 6 months, ask in an email. And you will be shocked at how many people actually respond to you. I get so many responses when I ask a question in my email, which means they're engaged, which is great. But ask in your email, like, hey, have you liked this? What else could I do differently? Would you like to hear from me more or less? Just hit reply and let me know and see what they say.
This is a really good
Thank
question.
you.
Really good question. I have been testing this question for a long time. So I'll just say, in general, it depends on the niche you're in as a photographer. I have a very different approach for Create Collective, for selling this course, for coaching for photographers. That one is consistent. It's long. It's every 7 to 10 days for a year. It took me so long to build that. That is not what I recommend as a photographer. That's way too much. I am selling a online course, right? So that is more like I got to kind of stay consistent. I have slowed that down even, honestly. But I'm saying as a brand photographer, my freebie welcome sequence is very methodical. They get the first email, 2 days later, they get the second one. Okay, who's Katie Monroe? 7 days, 7 days, 7 days. And I stay in their inbox for 5 weeks. If they haven't booked me or consulted me for a commercial shoot, a brand session, a personal brand session by then, they're testing the waters. They found someone else. For weddings and engagements and like family and all of that, I think it's incredibly powerful to send your entire list an email every quarter. And this is why there might be a mom on that list from someone's wedding that you shot 8 years ago, whose daughter now has a baby, who spends 8 grand on an at-home newborn session or something like that. So I do quarterly emails that are pretty sexy. They're very much like my kids are on them because they're so cute. They're like, hey, this is what we're up to. Momentum, those I love because I get to be so myself. I'm like, yeah, we have 3 brands. I would recommend all of you start with a monthly newsletter aimed at one ICA, ideal client avatar, one main niche, right? So, like, whether it's your wedding and portrait brand, I mean, I kind of can't help but think of like some of you who I know really well on like that you're very funny on social media. And I won't name names, but like channel that into your newsletter, right? And so you have like that reel embedded. Whatever content you guys are spending time on right now, just put it in a newsletter. That's it. I want to share one thing before we get off of how I started my newsletter. I felt behind and I was like, oh my God. And at the time, prior to transferring my company to Dubsado, I was using a program called Inly, and it was a tech startup in San Francisco, but I still had all of my inquiries and all of my clients in one place. I I don't know if this is legal anymore, but I'm going to tell you guys the truth of what I did. I just downloaded a CSV file from like all of them. Then I started brainstorming every family I photographed, every engagement shoot. I went in and I made my own email list in a Google Sheet and I downloaded it and it was like 200 people, right? And I started there and I started small and I introduced it like, hey guys, you're on this list because you inquired with, I did a disclaimer because they didn't opt into a freebie. Then I had 200 people. Then I added my family and friends. Like when we got married, I put our guest list on my email list. You got to just be bold and let go of any, what are the words I'm looking for? Just let go of any inhibitions. Like it's okay to just start and dive in because you're going to always have a button at the bottom that says, no harsh feelings, unsubscribe here. And if you guys have questions on your niche, email me because I track all my open rates. I really aim for a 50% open rate on my emails. And like I've stayed there. And I think that's because I'm not overwhelming people. So let's talk about those things. I think these are really good questions. We do have to get off the phone or off the call because I have another one. Okay. Thank you, Chelsea.
Yes, so great to meet you guys. And if you guys have any website questions, you can always email me as well. So would be happy to talk to you.
I will send you the replay. Everybody, I'm going to consolidate this. I'm going to send a bunch of notes and action items. And I just wanted to make one quick announcement before we get off. A lot of people have been like emailing me and calling and this, and I'm so into it. I am going to start having monthly office hours where I'm on Zoom in this room, ready for one-on-ones if you show up at that time and place. So I'm going to give you guys a month advance. I'm going to say I'm going to be there Monday from 11 to 1. And the reason is because it's growing and the course is getting bigger and I love it, but I also want to give you guys the attention you guys need. So if you need me, like one-on-one support and a coffee date, that's the time to show up. Okay. I mean, obviously, I'm still going to support you all on your portfolio, all the things, but I want there to be a consistent way for you to know that we're getting on a call. So I'm going to announce that this week. And I hope you guys show up when you need it and we can hang, but it'll be the first Monday of every month. All right, I will send this out and I really appreciate you, Chelsea. I feel like I also learned so much and I'm really happy that you joined us today and I hope that people leverage hourly. I might. I'm like, that is such a great thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll be in touch with everyone.
Thank you.
All right, have a good day,
Thanks,
everyone.
everyone.
Enjoy.
Bye.
Bye.
If you enjoyed this episode, please share it on your favorite social media platforms, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, or LinkedIn. Your share can help someone improve their photography business and their life. Use the hashtag Focus and Flourish Podcast so we can see your posts and connect with you there.